get at the Dollar Tree. It costs $1. This they have at the Dollar Tree too. Is that sparkle? Really, really messy to work with, but it's so pretty. So we have these, and I'm gonna put some black ribbon in it. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I have this here, $1. This was during Halloween. So look at your ribbons during the different seasons because you can get some really good deals. This was $1 at the Dollar Tree. I just hung on to it. I buy a lot of my stuff after the season. What I'm going to do is get this piece done first, the fat piece. So we're going to do it at opposite directions. This one here, I'm just doing 2, okay? So that's what I'm going to start with, is 2. And I'm going to leave this piece long, probably about, here, this is 12 inches. So about 12 inches you want to leave off. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to have a longer bow tail, whatever you call that thing. Okay, so, and you can make these little rabbit ears any size and any length you want. You can make these bows really super small, and you can make them really super big. Super big, you need to use more, you need to make more bunny ears. But for me, I'm going to do this for 3 because I really want it full and I want it to pop. So on this one we have 3. 1, 2, 3. On this side, 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And I'm going to actually trim this off so I can work with it once I get the wire on it. So on this one, because I can, I'm going to use black because there's a lot of black in here. Okay? So remember what we're going to do to make sure we get the center. We're going to fold it in half. Get your center. Slide that in. That way I have my center marked. I'm not twisting this yet because I'm going to snip the sides. I want it to pop, so I'm going to snip the sides because I'm going to be adding a lot to the middle of this one. Now that we know where the center is, I'm going to snip this just a smidge. You see that little snip there? About maybe a ½ inch on each side of a snip. The more you snip it, the more it's going to pop and twist. But if you snip it too much, it's going to pop and fall off. So you don't want to cut too far in. Little snippet going on there. And take this. Leave your pipe cleaner long. Don't trim it down when you're doing these because you're going to be working with multiple layers. So see how that snip made it go in? Take this out, give it a little twist because I'm going to add to it. So you can add to this 2 different ways. You can use another pipe cleaner for your center, or you can just add to this pipe cleaner. For me, I'm just going to use another pipe cleaner. Remember what I say. You cannot add to fabric once you cut it, but you can always trim it down if you give it too much. And I'd rather just have it trimmed down a little bit. So I'm going to set this over here. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to do, I think with the mesh ribbon, if you lay the shear inside the mesh, it's gonna roll out better. So we're just going to pop this open. Pop this open. And these don't have to be as big as the other piece that we did because we're going to add this to it. And they're not a 100% match, but that's okay because you know what? If you like it, that's all that matters. You're not, unless it's for a customer, then like I always say, if you're making something for a customer, then you want to make what they like. But if you're just making it to be creative and having fun, go for it. It's fun. Stuff is really gnarly. It's gonna just get in there and cling to each other. I'm kind of making this stuff up as we go along. That's how I roll. Make it up as you go along. Okay, so right here we have the two. And on this side, if you'll notice, we only have one. So we need to put one more loop in there to make that happen. And you can kind of hold it and see if that's working for you. And then we're just going to cut this off. Like I've showed before, if you're OCD and you want to measure it and make sure it's all precise and pristine, you can. That's your style. We're all wired differently. Kind of make it, I just kind of roll with it. So what we're going to do here, because see how that smooshes together really good? We don't need to put another cut in that one. I'm going to add this black to it and put that in the middle. Kind of make sure you have the middle. So we're going to put the pipe cleaner on it. Give it a really hard, good twist. Make sure you're in the center. Okay. This one's just going to be a real fluffy, crazy full one too. So I give it a couple of twists. Got that in the center. And I'm going to lay that on top of the one we just made, this one. Even though they're not exactly a match, they still look good together. Well, Martha Stewart would say, it's a good thing. or Bob Ross, it's a happy happening. For me, I just say, it's all good. It's all good. So see how that looks right now? It's all crazy and wonky. This is almost like a, so we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the other ones. We're gonna pop and fluff this bad baby out. So we're just gonna pull it apart. We're gonna do that for all of it. We're gonna do both sides. We have a whole other side here to pull apart. Just twist that out. Make it pop out. And your pipe cleaners, hang on to those bad babies because that's going to show your front. And then just start pulling and twisting and pulling and twisting it until you get the effect that you want. And just twist and pop it. See, by putting these little blacks, that shows us the center. But you can, you're going to twist and pop these too. Pull them all out. I'm going to wait until you see what I'm going to do with these. Pull them out, twist them and pop them. So on these ones on the back, you want to twist them and pull them in a circle for they frame your bow. And it kind of sounds weird working from the back out to the front, but you'll see why I'm having you do that. Because we're going to actually build that top piece out. So see how the back's looking pretty good at this point. It's nice and round, it's pretty fluffed out, and it's showing, but you can't really see this on the front. It's like this is overwhelming. That's because we're going to cut this down. We're going to trim it up and make it pop to accentuate the rest. I kind of need to see it here in order to know what I'm going to do. So on these blacks, I'm just going to trim these up. Well, actually, we're going to leave the black alone for right now. We're going to trim these and just get in there and get a little aggressive. It's okay. Because what you want to do is you're using this here to accentuate. So see how by cutting it, so just, you're going to do that with all of it. So even though you made all these beautiful little funny ear bow, see how that's coming together now? And remember, cut them longer because you can always go in and trim them down. But once you cut it, there's no go back. So see how it's coming together now? I'm like, man, I didn't realize it took so long to do bows. I know when somebody asked me to make them, I'm like, I'll show you how. I'll be happy to show you how. So when you have all those really pretty bows on your Christmas presents during the Christmas time, now you can appreciate the bow maker a little bit more. This is an arch. It's just like any other thing. Okay. So see how it's coming together now? But it's not there yet. So we're going to trim up these black pieces too. Okay. The back. See the back? And then you're going to pull these pieces out into the front. And trim those pieces up. If they're too long, trim them up. And just fluff it. Fluff, 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 fluff. It's all about being fluffy. Fluffy and trimming, fluffy and trimming, and fluffy and trimming. Trim those up. Now, I like to trim these up when I put them on the actual basket or on the gift or whatever, because then I frame it with these. So I'm going to leave these long for right now. But if I was to put them on a gift or something, then I would trim that up. Okay. This room so bad because I just throw stuff everywhere when I'm making these videos. Simple, even though you're probably going really, but you're just wrapping, putting the pipe cleaner on it, wrapping again. On this one, because I can, I'm going to use black because there's a lot of black in here. Okay. Sometimes I'm OCD, sometimes I'm ADD, sometimes I'm none, sometimes I'm all. I'm kind of weird, but don't laugh, Sue, because you know it's true. Kind of make it up. Get a pipe cleaner. Okay, got one. So we're gonna put the pipe. Hang on to those bad babies. So can you see that? Trying to show you. This is really fun. Trying to do this on the. These pipe cleaners are only $1 a bag, so we can afford another pipe cleaner set. So take it as you go along.